And here's what the place looks like when it's actually active. It's rather full of people. Some big color contrast going on here. And you can sit down and watch a stripper. Yep. And you can relax, apparently. And the camera angle changes. What a weird include. Alright, yeah. That's included. And as usual, Shepard is the most awkward physical person you could possibly insert into that scenario.
I got business here, but not with you.
Commander. What do you want?
What's bothering you, General?
I've seen a lot of horrible things in my days, and there's only one woman in this damn galaxy that helps me forget it.
This is the great Turian General. How did your kind ever defeat us?
I may be drunk, Krogan, but you're ugly, and tomorrow I'll be sober. Now, unless you have a cure for this ache in my gut, go away.
Wow, that's actually a pretty strong one. I may be drunk, but you're ugly, and tomorrow I'll be sober. It's like, how be different that you're still stuck with the way you are.
Is she really worth it? There must be other women.
It's not just any woman I want. It's her, and her alone. Look, kid, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but don't waste your time.
This is so... It's just a good inclusion, generally. It's the type of stuff that needs to be included. A lot of games like to invent aliens, or people of other governments, or religions, or fantasy creatures, and so on. And all they can ever talk about is their culture and what group they're from and all this other stuff, instead of just making them people. And what's really good about these kinds of quests and these kinds of locations is that it's just people problems. It's just somebody longing for somebody else, and none of the Citadel doesn't matter. Asari and Turian and everything about this place doesn't matter. This could happen in a completely different setting and it would still work. Obviously, if you want to have a good story, you need to use your setting at times. It's important, otherwise it's just you lifted somebody else's script, basically. But it's important to also do this, otherwise everything is plot with no character, and that's bad. Apparently I don't have my amazing ratings I thought I might have, though.
You need to start acting like a general if you want to beat this.
I spent all my life acting like a general, and what did it get me? Huh? No, those days are over. I'll just be what I am. A tired, lonely, worn-out soldier.
You're a damn general. Quit your whining.
Ha! You got balls, kid. There are only 5 people in this damn galaxy who talk to me like that. So you think it's that easy? Just straighten up and act like a general?
It's better than sitting on your ass all day.
Huh. Maybe you're right, Commander. Sha'ira's worth the effort. Even if she won't have me back.
This is no place for someone of your stature, General.
All right. I'll go to her. After I've had a cold shower or 2. Say, you're a bright kid. Would you be interested in earning a few extra credits?
What do you want me to do?
There's an L-Corps diplomat out there who believes Sha'ira gave up his secrets.
Why would he think such a thing?
Because I told him. Look, I just need you to convince him of the truth.
Why can't you tell him yourself?
Well, the last time he saw me, I was disparaging his ancestors and shouting his secrets in public. Take this data pad. It shows where I got my info. It will exonerate Sha'ira and convince the L-Corps.
Who am I taking it to, and where is he?
His name is Zaltan. He's an L-Corps diplomat. He's over in the embassies complaining about Sha'ira. Well, here's to soldiers acting like soldiers. Thanks, Commander. You know, you might make a good general yourself one day.
And now we've got our answer for why you couldn't talk to Sha'ira about what was going on with the Elcor. Because she has no idea. Because none of it was even true.
Go away. Let me drink it, please. Go away. Let me drink it, please.
Harkin is not currently interested in discussion. I think I could have talked to Harkin, but I think there's some branches in the story, and I may have even skipped one or two elements of it or something by going in things in specific orders. I'm actually not entirely clear. There's everything about the Citadel is actually an interesting practice in non-linear questing in a way that actually a lot of the rest of the game isn't always. Once you get to actual locations, you're often playing through relatively linear shooter missions that are bookended by lots of talking and story, and maybe even hubs before and after the mission itself. But the main missions often go from point A to point B and shoot everybody. So here's where that Quarian was almost taken out. So sorry to take you back here, Tally. But we don't actually have good continuity on how this place is laid out, because I kind of teleported out of here the moment we got here. So that takes you to the Presidium, and this takes you somewhere else. There we go. Now we're looping around. Much better understanding of where we are. Probably gonna want to fast travel somewhere back to where we... Yeah, probably the Elcor or something.
Coming up in a report later today, Emily Wong investigates corruption on the Citadel and uncovers a full-blown crime syndicate.
Alright, dude, you got some explaining to do after trying to send C-Sec after your friend.
Hello again. Did you have any luck finding Shorban?
I found out you've been lying to me, Jalid.
Lying? Why would I lie to you?
You lied to us about the Keeper data.
He told you? I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I was afraid Shorban would kill me to get the data, so I was hoping you'd take care of him.
I'm scanning the Keepers for Shorban, but you two need to stop fighting.
You're helping us? But, well, if you say so. Well, if Shorban can forgive and forget, then so can I. I appreciate the help, Commander. I better go get that data analyzed.
Well, hell of a thing there. End up saving lives, but not for the reason you expect. They're on the verge of getting each other killed, all for data that neither of them are actually willing to kill over, and it's just a giant misunderstanding. Possibly because one or more of them is just flat out crazy.
There'd be no need for bounty hunters like me.
Oh, look at Rex with social commentary over here.
A Solarian excavation team has run into an unexpected problem after unearthing a Prothean dig site. Hanar protesters have blockaded the dig site, claiming that artifacts of the Enkindlers, as the Hanar call them, should not be disturbed. The excavation team has appealed to Hanar representatives on the Citadel to reach a diplomatic solution.
And scan. Good news, Elcor friend. Zeltan.
Strained greeting, human. This is really not a good time.
I know who revealed your secret. It was a Turian named Septimus.
Unbelieving, I know this Septimus, and he could not learn my secrets. The only way he could learn them is from the Asari Consort.
You are mistaken. See this here if you don't believe us.
Confused. This is difficult to fathom. If the Turian could learn this on his own, dismayed, anyone can discover my secret.
Septimus is a powerful man, and it wasn't easy for him to find.
Relieved. I suppose you are correct, human. Thank you for this information. Startled realization. I must speak with the Consort. She will be most displeased with my actions. Anxious request. Please, human, if you will excuse me, I must go now.
So long.
Farewell, human.
Thankful. That was a great thing you did, Commander. Approving.
You see, then not all humans are as you say.
I'm sure the Earth Clan stands to profit from this in some way.
Well, I don't like him either.
Do not listen to my Volus compatriot. It was a good thing you did, regardless of your intentions.
Jin Korlak is an endlessly suspicious type, isn't he? Well, speaking of discussing things with the... I almost said counselor. God damn it. The consort. Kind of a counselor in some ways, with some of them at least. Here we are. This is where we're looking to go.
Septimus has sent word. Apparently, he sought the consort's forgiveness.
So Septimus is already acting. So Consort took care of all your problems, including one that you may have not even known about. I want to make note that if, like, as a note of her professional nature, she probably did know that she was being badmouthed by Zeltan and was specifically not. Like, she didn't bring that up with me. She didn't acknowledge that, so she knows to keep things close to the chest when she should because of the confidentiality of the people around her. But although she did send me after Septimus.
Commander, I recently received a lovely note from Septimus. Thank you for speaking with him. Even the Alcor diplomat has withdrawn his campaign against me.
It was my honor to aid you.
You are too kind, Commander, but I would not expect you to help me out of the kindness of your heart. I also have one more thing to give you, if you are interested.
What are you offering me?
I offer a gift of words, an affirmation of who you are and who you will become. I see your skin, tough as the scales on any Turian, unyielding, a wall between you and everyone else, but it protects you, makes you strong. That strength is what kept you alive when everyone around you was dying. You alone survived. You will continue to survive. This may be who you are, but it is not who you will become. It only forms the basis for your future greatness. Remember these words when doubt descends, Commander.
You have quite a gift, Shaira.
Thank you. Not everyone appreciates it as you do. Never underestimate the power of words. Here, Commander. In light of your efforts with the Alcor ambassador, I would like you to have this small trinket.
What is it?
A small mystery. I have never learned its use or purpose, but I sense it is time for me to pass it on. And now I must ask you to leave. I have done everything I can for you. Remember my words, Commander Shepard. They will give you strength.
And now she's just passing on small, mysterious objects for the sake of it. So the talk about being a Turian, talk about the scales of a Turian and having a hard exterior that keeps me alive. Both a reference to my survival on a cruise and my sole survivor status, but also possibly a reference to my Paragon Renegade. Yep, I have more Renegade than Paragon so far. That being true despite the fact that I haven't done anything particularly nasty. Yet. Hey, Advanced Overload, and then a little bit more electronics. The cap raised, so I figured I'd go a little deeper again. Maybe time to go a little bit into Sentinel to reduce my cooldowns while also increasing my pistol damage, so I think I will. There we go. Rex leveled up again. Got a few points into warp and probably combat armor. See, yeah, we want to get down to heavy armor before too long so we can actually wear that kind of equipment. So she gets basic armor, which I think means she never gets better armor. Yeah, she just gets shield boost bonuses and some hardening, but she can never wear high-level armor because Tali is she's not a sentinel, and she's not an adept, and she's not a soldier. She's a straight-up engineer, 100% tech. That's what she specializes in. Quarian machinist. Though young, Tali is a true genius when it comes to dealing with mechanical or electronic equipment. So she can get increased shields and tech resistance from putting points into here. Which is actually a pretty big bonus. So she gets shield capacity here, but I think her electronics probably does too. Yeah, she gets shield capacity both from electronics and from her Quarian machinist skill, which should lead to a lot of overall stuff. I like to max out the character-specific trait for each side character when I can. Get her a few points into pistol, a few points into electronics. just to get her down to dampening, since that's what's special about her, is those kinds of abilities. We'll work our way down to hacking before long, too. So damping reduces, it basically blocks people from using their abilities. Hacking actually can basically take control of robotic enemies, make them fight each other, which is kind of a big deal when your enemy is already established as being the Geth. So we'll be working our way down there, too. There we go. I'm actually a little bit surprised by just how much renegade I've managed to gather already, but I'm sure the threat on behalf of a soldier was probably enough to push me over, and it felt fitting enough because while I'm not going to be doing atrocities, probably I could see the character getting a little emotional about a fellow soldier from the fight not being able to be put to rest when their family was grieving and desperately requesting their body to be retrieved, while they're being put under the knife for research. It's even if it is for the greater good, it's always a little hard to necessarily accept that. The surprise thing is that, of course, renegade is often associated with the person who will do bad things for the greater good, so the fact that I was doing the opposite of that through a renegade option kind of shows how even the stereotypes of how the two nuanced positions aren't actually as can't be stereotyped as much as you would think. Don't think I've gotten you yet. Nope. And somebody's arguing with a Hanar over here.
Do you desire to learn of the Enkindlers? Or has the Honorable CSEC officer enlisted assistance?
What's going on here?
The CSEC officer requests that this one purchase an evangelical permit to spread the truth of the Enkindlers.
If that's all the CSEC officer wants, why not just buy the permit?
The truth of the Enkindlers is universal. This one humbly believes that the truth should not be suppressed. Exacting payment as a means of imposing limits upon the truth is an abrogation of this one's religious freedom.
Who are the Enkindlers?
Your people know them as the Protheans. They are the true creators of this one's people. The Enkindlers raised the Hanar from ignorance into consciousness by granting this one's people the gift of speech.
If that's all the CSEC officer wants, why not just buy the permit?
The truth.
My bad.
Exacting payment as a means of imposing limits upon the truth is an
So you're breaking the law by preaching without a permit right now?
The CSEC officer states that preaching in this place is forbidden, and preaching anywhere on the Citadel requires a permit. This one humbly submits that it is not preaching to state the truth of the Enkindlers, and thus no permit should be necessary.
Let me talk to the CSEC officer. Perhaps I can explain the situation.
This one would be most grateful for the assistance. Please let this one know if success is achieved.
Honestly, though, the Hanar is probably in the wrong here. There's standard procedure and standard ways that these kinds of things are handled, and he's just kind of being stubborn and insisting that he should get special treatment when no one else does, presumably.
That Hanar refuses to listen to reason. Why can't it act in an orderly and lawful manner?
Are there laws being broken here?
I am not unreasonable. The Hanar is free to spew its nonsense once it purchases an evangelical permit.
Why don't you just arrest the Hanar?
I could arrest the jelly, but my superior has requested that I find a solution that does not anger the Hanar. The Hanar become vocal when they feel their religious beliefs are being suppressed.
What's the purpose behind the evangelical permits?
Forcing religious evangelicals to register for a permit weeds out undesirables. It keeps the area safe. The Citadel is too important to become a battleground for a religious war.
So if the Hanar gets a permit, it's allowed to preach?
No. Registered evangelicals must follow regulations. There are specific areas where preaching is legal. Failure to follow the regulations results in the forfeiture of the license.
If you'd like, I could talk to the Hanar for you.
I have argued with the stubborn jelly all afternoon. You are certainly welcome to try.
Yeah, it's rough. I want it. There's extra texture here because you're implying that their religious freedoms are perhaps kind of trodden upon because they have to go off to specific locations in order to preach, and those locations are probably, I would expect, to be remote and away from the people that they're trying to reach in the first place. But at the same time, yeah, you don't want the area right in front of the council chambers probably should not become a place where people are arguing about religion and potentially getting into actual, like, more real conflicts as a result.
Has the CSEC officer been assuaged?
Is this really how you want to represent the Enkindlers?
The truth of the Enkindlers must be made known. They gave the Hanar language and gave the universe the mass relays. This one only wishes to spread the truth to any who will listen. There is no intent to cause trouble.
What if I purchase the evangelical permit for you?
Finances are only a partial limitation. This one does not believe that one should pay in order to speak the truth. However, this one also does not possess the 150 credits necessary to purchase the permit.
150 credits. This should cover you.
This is a most appreciated action. You are not of the Hanar, but you wish to help spread the truth of the Enkindlers. This one will not cause any further trouble for the CSEC officer. This one offers its thanks.
Hey, progress.
I see the Hanar is left. Thank you.
Happy to help.
Here, for your assistance in this matter. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should report to my superiors.
What did he just give me? Oh, he tried to give me a meta gel, but I was maxed out. Okay. I was gonna say, if he gave me money, that'd be weird, because then it's like, why wouldn't he just give him the money then to just let him get the permit then, if that was necessary? But that's not what he gave me. So you may have noticed grayed out options, if you don't know what those are already. Those are the charm and intimidate options. But as you may have also noticed, I can't get any more charm and intimidate. They're maxed at 3 right now. I actually don't remember what causes it to happen. You either elevate your personal status within the military and the government and stuff like that, or maybe you just level up. But as you progress through the game, these caps raise over time. And so if I had done these specific these things where you see the intimidate option in particular is still grayed out despite me having it maxed out, that'd be the bottom left gray option, or bottom right gray option, one or the other. If it's grayed out and I have it maxed out, that just means that I need to come back. If I'd come back later in the game, I would have progressed in a different way that would have allowed me to then have those different abilities. It's supposed to symbolize your character growing as a person as they go throughout their entire journey, and it's a good way of mixing RPG mechanics with actual storytelling. And now it's time for our all-important meeting, because I kind of put this off for a while.
You know, Saren would already be in custody if you'd gone straight to the council with your information.
A lone Quarian with no credentials? The council would laugh me out of the chambers. That is, if Saren hadn't killed me by then.
It's a good point. It points out the faults of the entire system is the idea that you can't just gain access to the council members in general. On one hand, yeah, it makes sense that everyone can't just get access to them whenever, because it could be dangerous to the council and dangerous to the entire government as a result, and which is dangerous to everybody in a way. But that means that we lack expediency, and expediency can be what saves lives in many cases. And maybe they could have arrested Saren with this information right away. But now time has passed, and it seems unlikely that would happen that way. Also, because we have a whole video game to happen, so there's that. Where presumably it goes on beyond this part. Oh, thought that was somebody else for a second there.
Maybe. But I wouldn't believe everything you hear.
But that's just it. I'm hearing it everywhere. It's not just isolated rumors.
Do you really think Saren could be involved in something like that without the council knowing it?
Maybe the council does know. Everyone already assumes he's just doing their dirty work.
That's dangerous talk. I'd be careful who you mention that to.
I know. But if it's true, shouldn't we be doing something about it?
No. And I'll thank you to keep me out of it if you do.
Makes sense. The sure, Saren works for the Council, and so they shouldn't be aware. They should be aware of what he's up to. But at the same time, he's a character that's just given free reign to do whatever the hell he wants, which makes him actually probably entirely capable of keeping secrets from the Council itself and doing some really dark shit if he's up for it.
Come on. Udina's presenting the Quarians' evidence to the Council.
Eden Prime was a major victory. The beacon has brought us one step closer to finding the conduit.
And one step closer to the return of the Reapers.
You wanted proof? There it is.
This evidence is irrefutable, Ambassador. Saren will be stripped of his Spectre status, and all efforts will be made to bring him in to answer for his crimes.
I recognize the other voice, the one speaking with Saren. Matriarch Benezia.
Who is she?
Matriarchs are powerful Asari who have entered the final stage of their lives. Revered for their wisdom and experience, they serve as guides and mentors to my people. Matriarch Benezia is a powerful biotic, and she had many followers. She will make a formidable ally for Saren.
I'm more interested in the Reapers. What do you know about them?
Only what was extracted from the Geth's memory core. The Reapers were an ancient race of machines that wiped out the Protheans. Then they vanished.
The Geth believe the Reapers are gods, and Saren is the prophet for their return.
We think the conduit is the key to bringing them back. Saren's searching for it. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Do we even know what this conduit is?
Saren thinks it can bring back the Reapers. That's bad enough.
Listen to what you're saying. Saren wants to bring back the machines that wiped out all life in the galaxy? Impossible. It has to be. Where did the Reapers go? Why did they vanish? How come we found no trace of their existence? If they were real, we'd have found something.
I tried to warn you about Saren and you refused to face the truth. Don't make the same mistake again.
This is different. You proved Saren betrayed the Council. We all agree he's using the Geth to search for the conduit, but we don't really know why.
The Reapers are obviously just a myth, Commander. A convenient lie to cover Saren's true purpose. A legend he is using to bend the Geth to his will.
50,000 years ago, the Reapers wiped out all galactic civilization. If Saren finds the conduit, it will happen again.
Saren is a rogue agent on the run for his life. He no longer has the rights or resources of a Spectre. The Council has stripped him of his position.
That is not good enough. You know he's hiding somewhere in the Traverse. Send your fleet in!
A fleet cannot track down one man.
A Citadel fleet could secure the entire region, keep the Geth from attacking any more of our colonies.
Or it could trigger a war with the Terminus systems. We won't be dragged into a galactic confrontation over a few dozen human colonies.
I can take Saren down.
The Commander's right. There is a way to stop Saren that doesn't require fleets or armies.
No, it's too soon. Humanity is not ready for the responsibilities that come with joining the Spectres.
You don't have to send a fleet into the Traverse, and the Ambassador gets his human Spectre. Everybody's happy.
Commander Shepard, step forward. It is the decision of the Council that you be granted all the powers and privileges of the Special Tactics and Reconnaissance Branch of the Citadel.
Spectres are not trained, but chosen. Individuals forged in the fire of service and battle. Those whose actions elevate them above the rank and file.
Spectres are an ideal, a symbol, the embodiment of courage, determination, and self-reliance. They are the right hand of the Council, instruments of our will.
Spectres bear a great burden. They are protectors of galactic peace, both our first and last line of defense. The safety of the galaxy is theirs to uphold.
You are the first human Spectre, Commander. This is a great accomplishment for you and your entire species.
I'm honored, Counselor.
We're sending you into the Traverse after Saren. He's a fugitive from justice, so you are authorized to use any means necessary to apprehend or eliminate him.
Any idea where to find him?
We will forward any relevant files to Ambassador Udina.
This meeting of the Council is adjourned.
Congratulations, Commander.
We've got a lot of work to do, Shepard. You're going to need a ship, a crew, supplies.
You'll get access to special equipment and training now. You should go down to the CSEC Academy and speak to the Spectre Requisitions Officer.
Anderson, come with me. I'll need your help to set all this up.
Bastard didn't even thank you.
What do you expect from a politician? Come on.
Right behind you, Shepard.
And another level up. It just happens constantly. There we go. So there's your order of operations. So if you prioritize this right away, you actually get more immediate upgrades right here. So now I can max out my Intimidate again. And now we get a new tier called Spectre Training. Increases the... what does it say here? Elite agents of the Council of Spectres have access to special training unavailable elsewhere in the galaxy. Increases health, accuracy, and effectiveness of all attacks and powers. Grants the Unity ability. So this gives you... damage and duration of your powers are increased by 1%. 5% extra health, 2% maximum accuracy, and even a little bit of accuracy regeneration, which is a weird concept to think about, but when you shoot a lot, you become less accurate with each shot. Here's Unity. Restore dead squad members with 15% health and 40% shields. Kind of a big deal, actually. Motivated Buyer is what I got for Intimidate over here, too. Sets Intimidate score at 4, which is that's normal. Then it lets you sell stuff for 2% more. That's just kind of stashed in there. I think I actually might prioritize putting the points into Spectre Training for now. The passive effects are good, and then getting access to Unity means that I'll be able to revive allies that go down during combat, which they kind of like to go down during combat, frankly. A few points into Assault Rifles, I think. Or should I go into Fitness? That's the bonus health. The first point's good at the very least. The first point's a flat 10%, and it's 3 or 4% after that, which is less of a jump, and it only gets more diminishing returns from that point on. But that first point's 10%. It's a big one. And we'll get Advanced Warp, I think. Yeah. And then Tally. Let's keep going towards hacking. So now she's got Advanced Sabotage, and soon she'll be able to do hacking skills against cybernetic enemies. There we go. So we've made progress with the exposing Saren. It's time to go back and talk to the Ambassador. And maybe this one character that's just sitting out here and won't talk to me will finally talk to me. There's one guy over here that's distracting me a little bit. But yeah, once again, it's totally reasonable to see why they don't believe us again.
No,
Let's see. Oh, there we go.
Congratulations on becoming the first human Spectre, Commander. I'm certain you'll be up to the challenge.
I appreciate that.
My name is Admiral Kahoku. It's about time the Alliance got one of our own in with the Spectres. We need people like you to deal with our problems.
Is something wrong, Admiral?
I'm getting stonewalled by bureaucratic assholes. Nothing new. Maybe you can help me, Shepard. One of my recon teams was investigating some strange activity out in the Traverse. We lost contact yesterday. Now I can't get clearance to check it out. Suddenly it's a restricted area. But that doesn't apply to you, Shepard. Spectres can go anywhere they want. You could find out why my team dropped out of contact.
I'll find them, Admiral.
I appreciate that, Commander. I was running out of options. I'm going to stay here and see if I can find anything out through official channels. Won't hold my breath, though.
There we go.
I'll
One new
upload the
update.
info on where my team was last seen to your ship. Maybe you can get some answers.
I was wondering when it would come up just because it was taunting me there. I'm like, you're named, you're clearly talking, when is this going to come up? It was conditional on me becoming a Spectre. Makes sense. Especially given the context of the whole thing. So, the Council's suspicious and untrusting, which makes sense once again, because just like how I lacked... Just like how I lacked information on Saren, now I lack information on the Reapers. We just know that the Geth think they existed, but how reliable are the Geth? They might be crazy for all we know. They're robots that betrayed their own creators and drove them out of their own home world, and they are killing people and turning them into cybernetic zombies, so who knows how reliable their stance can be. But we do know that Saren's up to no good, and he's after something called the Conduit, and since he's up to no good, we should probably stop him from getting anything that he's trying to get. And so we have a goal, regardless of whether or not we believe in any of the other contexts surrounding it.
I'm on a break. Talk to someone else if you need anything. I've got a lot on my mind.
Maybe I can help.
Well, maybe you can. You're a soldier, right? You ever head out to the Traverse?
The Traverse is a rough place. We're out there quite a bit.
My brother's the captain of a ship called the Majesty. It was crossing the Traverse a few days ago when it disappeared. Just dropped right off the grid. And that usually means one of two things. They had massive mechanical failure, or they were attacked.
Neither one of those options leaves a lot of hope.
I won't give up on my brother. Not yet. I've got the coordinates for the last transmission from his vessel.
What kind of ship was it?
Don't let the name fool you. The Majesty's just a small trading vessel, only a handful of crew. But he kept it in good condition. I don't think mechanical failure is too likely. But they don't have any real weapons or shields. If anyone did come after them, the Majesty'd be a sitting duck.
What's in this for me?
I can't afford to pay you anything. If I had that kind of cash, I'd have hired a recovery team to track him down already. Maybe you could look into this as a personal favor, you know? We humans have to stick together.
Isn't anyone else looking into this?
My brother's just a small independent trader. Ships like his disappear in the Traverse all the time.
If your brother is still alive, I'll find him. Give me the coordinates.
I'll forward them to your ship right away. Please let me know as soon as you find him.
Another lost soul in the galaxy. It seems to be full of them, isn't it? So, this game also does a good job at contextualizing why a small party of people are for some reason on a mission. Because that's one of the problems that always comes up whenever we have a story that's like what might be like entire solar systems, or at least colonies, or groups of people that are in some kind of danger. You wonder, why aren't they sending the army after them? In this case, it's because Saren's attacking human colonies that are on the edge of the terminus system, which means they're on the edge of council space, because that's the only place that the humans really were able to settle down, because everything else is kind of filled up. But that means that they're on the edge of all of the outside races that we don't get along with, and sending an army would cause an entire war, potentially causing way more death than anything Saren's planning on doing, because we're not really sure what he's up to anyway. And this could just be some lunatic.
Exogeny Corp is still denying reports that one of their survey teams has gone missing in the Hades Gamma Cluster. When asked why communication with the survey team was suddenly cut off last week, company officials refused to comment.
So, unwilling to risk what could be millions of deaths in a galactic war of some kind from going to the Traverse, we're sending a small strike team, which just happens to be us. The one convenient part, perhaps, is the fact that we are the ones chosen to take down Saren. Like, sure, there's the whole, it's phrased as like a win-win of like, oh yeah, see, make a human Spectre, we take down Saren, fix all your problems. But there isn't necessarily any reason given for, could be forgetting something, but I don't think there's much reason given for why specifically the humans need to be the ones that are let in. Oh, he's preaching.
Where there was only darkness, the enkindlers gave light.
He's gonna get in trouble, isn't he? They said they could only preach in specific locations, and it sounds like he may have the permit now, but it sounds like he's immediately going against that, and he's probably gonna be a troublemaker, and it may have been a mistake to help him. But yeah, for all we know, he's basically a terrorist, but like one guy leading a group of crazy people, or in this case, machines. And we can just send a strike force in and to try to quietly take him down. And also, it's easier to track down a person as a strike team than as an army. He's going to kind of see you coming if you send an entire army. So then you both start a war and fail to actually catch him if we take the other route. So the game actually does a decent job at contextualizing why Shepard's group is going in. The only real gap is why Shepard specifically has to become a Spectre to do this. Presumably they have other Spectres they can use for this mission. But that's a little bit of plot convenience, I think. Is this where Udina's hiding, or did I lose track of him? Oh, he's somewhere else, isn't he? Whoops. I think this is where he's supposed to be located, but... Yep, he's by CSEC.
Binary Helix has settled out of court with a Krogan group that had accused the Genetics Corporation of fraud. The Krogan group had contracted Binary Helix to perform studies with a long-range goal of curing their genetic sterilization. The group later sued for a return of investment money when the study produced no viable results.
So there's an important reveal. They're talking about the idea that Krogans have been genetically sterilized. And as you'd expect, some pharmaceutical company would then go in and try to exploit that situation for money, accomplish nothing, and now they're getting sued. And I see... Yep, that's definitely Turian. Yep, that's Garrus. That's just Garrus. Hello.
Congratulations, Shepard. Heard they made you a Spectre. I'm glad somebody got the Council to see Saren for what he really is.
I appreciate that, Garrus.
I resigned from CSEC after the Council ignored my investigation. I was sick of all the politics. You're the only one who seems to be doing anything about Saren. Let me come with you.
You're a Turian. Why do you want to bring him down?
I couldn't prove it in my investigation, but I knew what was really going on. Saren is a traitor to the Council and a disgrace to my people.
Welcome aboard, Garrus.
You won't regret this, Shepard.
Turns out that Shepard has surprisingly little actual requirement for recruiting people. These last three kind of joined on a moment's notice without a lot of talk. Tali makes the most sense because of her direct tie to the Geth, but Garrus and Rex's just the sheer briefness in which they joined the squad is a bit of a surprise. Although Garrus, I know for a fact, there's branching paths in his story here at Citadel where I could have done a different mission if I did things in a slightly different order. Some of the stuff gets rearranged differently, but I ended up finding Tali through the Shadow Broker connection instead of through Garrus investigations. I think is the alternate. I think that was the alternate, and I think even Harkin was also an option. There's a lot of options. Also, these guys look fucking rad. Sorry, it's just, they look fucking rad. And now it's time to say goodbye to the Citadel, because we have nothing left besides either quests I haven't found, which I know some of those exist.
In breaking news, Chairman Burns of the Parliament Subcommittee on Transhuman Studies has been kidnapped by biotic extremists. The biotics commandeered a freighter and were last seen in the Hades Gamma Cluster. No demands have yet been made.
But, aside from, like, I'm sure we'll be coming back after a planet or two of the story to wrap up some loose ends, but at the moment, we don't have any real outstanding quests here aside from the one for scanning keepers, which is about 2/3 done already, surprisingly. It actually caught me by surprise, but that's like, surprisingly, yeah, 15 out of 21. I actually found a lot of them really quickly, I guess. But we can get back to that. That can obviously wait. It's not even a vaguely urgent quest, and I would like to move on, because we've been here for a while. You guys are color-coordinated like Power Rangers, aren't you? Also, all these different races are actually a decent excuse to have character-specific armor, restricting the ability to share them between all the different characters and making it a little easier to manage who gets what, because clearly they would require different armor. Look at the body types between these three characters. And also, what the hell's going on under the armor for some of these characters? It's actually... What the fuck do these characters look like? I'm sure the internet's drawn them naked hundreds of times, so some people have definitely tried to figure out what the hell that looks like underneath all the armor.
I've got big news for you, Shepard. Captain Anderson is stepping down as commanding officer of the Normandy. The ship is yours now.
She's quick and quiet, and you know the crew. Perfect ship for a Spectre. Treat her well, Commander.
I'll take good care of her, sir.
I know you will, Commander.
I want the truth. Why are you stepping down, sir?
You needed your own ship. A Spectre can't answer to anyone but the Council. And it's time for me to step down.
Come clean with me, Captain. You owe me that much.
I was in your shoes 20 years ago, Shepard. They were considering me for the Spectres.
What happened?
I failed. I couldn't make the cut. It's not something I'm proud of. Ask me later and I'll tell you the whole story. For now, all you need to know is, I was sent on a mission with Saren, and he made sure the Council rejected me. I had my shot. It came and went. Now you have a chance to make up for my mistakes.
I won't let you down, sir.
Saren's gone. Don't even try to find him. But we know what he's after. The conduit. He's got his Geth scouring the Traverse looking for clues.
We had reports of Geth in the Pharos system shortly before our colony there dropped out of contact, and there have been sightings around Noveria.
Find out what Saren was after on Pharos and Noveria. Maybe you can figure out where the conduit is before he does.
The Reapers are the real threat.
I'm with the Council on this one, Shepard. I'm not sure they even exist.
But if they do exist, the conduit's the key to bringing them back. Stop Saren from getting the conduit, and we stop the Reapers from returning.
I'll stop him.
We have one more lead. Matriarch Benezia, the other voice in that recording. She has a daughter, a scientist who specializes in the Protheans. We don't know if she's involved, but it might be a good idea to try and find her. See what she knows. Her name's Liara, Dr. Liara Tassoni. We have reports she was exploring an archaeological dig on one of the uncharted worlds in the Artemis Tau cluster.
Sounds like we should head for the Artemis Tau cluster.
It's your decision, Commander. You're a Spectre now. You don't answer to us.
But your actions still reflect on humanity as a whole. You make a mess and I get stuck cleaning it up.
I'll try not to make things any harder on you, Ambassador.
Glad to hear it, Commander. Remember, you were a human long before you were a Spectre. I have a meeting to get to. Captain Anderson can answer any questions you might have.
Yes, Commander?
How are you holding up?
Honestly, this isn't how I pictured my career coming to an end. Pushing papers really isn't my thing. But you're the one who can stop Saren. I believe in you, Shepard. If that means I have to step aside, so be it.
Tell me what happened with you and Saren 20 years ago.
It's close to 20 years ago now. Ambassador Goyle was our representative here on the Citadel. Like Udina, she wanted to get a human into the Spectres. She chose me. The Council sent Saren to keep an eye on me and evaluate my performance, just like they sent Nihilus to keep tabs on you.
Why weren't you honest with me?
It's not something I'm proud of. I had a chance to become the first human Spectre, and I failed. Saren made sure of that.
I think I deserve the whole story.
We had intel on a rogue scientist being funded by Batarian interests. He was trying to set up a facility to develop illegal AI technology out in the Verge. Alliance intel had done all the work, but the Council wanted a Spectre involved. We compromised. I was assigned to help Saren in his investigation. We tracked the scientist to a refining facility on Kamala. He was hidden away somewhere inside, protected by an army of Batarian mercenaries. The plan was simple. Sneak into the plant, capture the scientist, sneak back out. Quick, quiet, and a minimum of bloodshed.
I'm guessing things didn't go as planned?
Saren and I split up to cover more ground. Then about halfway through the mission, there was a massive explosion in the refinery core. Officially, it was ruled an accident, but I think Saren detonated it on purpose to draw off the enemy guards.
Sounds like overkill to me.
The explosion tore the refinery to shreds. The whole place was on fire. Black chemical clouds poured out into the atmosphere. Nobody inside survived. There was a camp for the workers and their families nearby. Between the fires and the toxic fumes, the final death count was over 500. Mostly civilians. Saren didn't care. The target was eliminated, mission accomplished, and I ended up taking the blame. That ended all talk of me joining the Spectres.
Saren caused the explosion. How'd he pin it on you?
In his report, Saren accused me of blowing his cover. He said it was my fault the guards were ready for us. He claimed that's why it turned into a massacre. Saren's report was all the proof the Council needed to kill my chances of becoming a Spectre.
Why'd you let him get away with it?
Who do you think the Council was going to listen to? Me? Or their best agent? I had a bad feeling about him right from the start. I should have been more careful. Maybe I could have stopped things before they got out of hand.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't. I blame Saren. I think he wanted things to go bad. He was looking for an excuse to blow that refinery. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me look bad to keep humans out of the Spectres. If so, he pulled it off.
Why'd you let him get away with it?
Who do you think the Council was going to...
That's not what I want to do. Sorry.
Stopping Saren.
You're right, Commander. It's no good living in the past.
I felt bad. I didn't mean to do that. It's like it started looping, but it just felt like a little too much to go the other direction with the dialogue. So I like how everything has an explanation in this game. I mean, you'll find eventually, if you keep asking too many questions, you'll eventually finally hit a wall, because that's how everything works and all the time. But everything down to like, how do you become a Spectre? This whole quest. How do you get a ship? You just have a ship? That's weird. It's like, no, it was Captain Anderson's ship. Why did Captain Anderson give you a ship? Because the specific person you're hunting down is somebody that he has a very specific history with and a vendetta against. He feels an element of guilt because he was involved with this person's mission and when they did something absolutely atrocious, and they're planning on doing more things that are awful, and he sees you as a chance to stop it, and he's willing to sacrifice all sorts of things to set that in motion as opposed to sitting idly by and letting it happen again.
I want to know the truth about you and Saren.
God damn it, that just loops again. Sorry.
The plan was simple.
The only thing I care about is
You're
stopping.
right, Commander.
Didn't think that was going to loop like that. Whoopsie. Let's ask about our destinations.
Any extra intel you can give me on our colony at Pharos?
The entire planet used to be one giant Prothean city. Mostly ruins now. But some of the infrastructure is still intact. The colony tried to build on what the Protheans left behind. We lost all contact with them when the Geth attacked.
What do you know about the Artemis Tau cluster?
Not much. I've never been there myself. A handful of systems with a few small, uncharted worlds, but no real colonies. Might not be easy finding Dr. Tassoni out there. My advice is to look for the world with the Prothean ruins.
What can you tell me about Novaria?
Novaria's trouble. Always has been. The whole planet's basically a center for corporations to conduct illegal research. Watch your back there, Shepard. Spectres are about the only form of Citadel authority Novaria respects. But they aren't popular.
I should go.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Alright, so I've played it a few times, of course, so my approach that I think, after a few different patterns, I think the one that feels most natural is to go Artemis Town, Novaria, Pharos, and then continue from there. Those elements, like, I think just play better in that order. Here we go, the Normandy. Decontamination in progress. Get used to that phrase.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress. Decontamination in progress.
I heard what happened to Captain Anderson. Survives 100 battles and then gets taken down by backroom politics. Just watch your back, Commander. Things go bad on this mission, you're next on their chopping block.
Captain Anderson should be the one in charge. It's like I'm stealing the ship from him.
Yeah, the captain got screwed. But it's not like you could have stopped it. Nobody's blaming you. Everyone on this ship's behind you, Commander. 100%. Intercom's open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
This is Commander Shepard speaking. We have our orders. Find Saren before he finds the conduit. I won't lie to you, crew. This mission isn't going to be easy. This began with an attack on a human settlement in the Traverse. But we know Saren won't stop there. His Geth armies aren't going to stay on the far fringes of Citadel space. The Council wants to ignore this. That's no surprise. They never helped us in the past. No reason they'd start now. But we don't need their help. We can do this on our own. Our enemy knows we're coming. When we go into the Traverse, Saren's followers will be waiting for us. But we'll be ready for them, too. This is the most important mission any of us have ever been on. The fate of an entire galaxy is at stake. We will stop Saren, no matter what the cost.
Well said, Commander. Captain will be proud.
The Captain gave up everything so I could have this chance. We can't fail.
Yes, ma'am.